So today I have some brand new accessories to share with you, and it's from a company I've already highlighted on the channel here in the Cybertruck. One of the very first companies to actually release a good number of accessories for the Cybertruck was BestEVMods. And BestEVMod, they have a whole bunch of accessories for a whole bunch of EVs, but they were one of the first to have a nice wide assortment for the Cybertruck, and I was fortunate enough to get my hands on just about everything that they offer to try out for myself. Now, I shared with you some of my recommendations, some of the things I really liked that they had, including things like the front liner and the bed liner. I really like the bed side step strips that I get compliments on all the time. A lot of people are very interested in that, and they're very cost effective. A lot of things that they make aren't all that expensive, but they seem to be right on par with what you would expect for the price that you're paying. I also have a pretty cool safe here in my center console to keep my valuables hidden, secured, and locked away, so I don't have to think about them ever. Now, that doesn't all come with great news, because the thing is, I put this truck to the test over the last year, really. And one of the things that I had received from them were mud flaps, and I absolutely destroyed those mud flaps. I put them through as hard of an environment as you can, and off-roading, on-roading, extreme climate temperatures, extreme road conditions, and learned a lot about how to design these mud flaps to be a little bit better for the Cybertruck, and they now have a version 2, and that's our first accessory for today. These are styled much like the previous ones that I had on here, and they're made to look like they belong on the Cybertruck, which is good, but they have changed some of the dimensions on this to make this better clearance on the rear, make it a stronger material as well. It also, just like the previous version, comes with everything that you need, but now it's actually come up with a slightly different install method, which adds a couple of bolts to the front and actually uses an existing bolt on the truck in the rear. This adds quite a bit of durability to these, makes them a lot stronger than the previous version, which was mostly just pressure clips or body clips and a clamp to hold it on place. So this is a much stronger install. So it comes with a bunch of even stronger body clips than before. Comes with a Torx key, which you will need. It is a T25. I recommend getting, if you don't already have, a screwdriver type T25, and there's a link in the description if you really want to get one, but I highly recommend it. It's just a lot easier to deal with what you're about to do underneath the vehicle, because it's kind of an awkward position. But you can do this with just the key that they provide, but that's a good recommendation that I have for you. Of course, it comes with a number of new bolts that we'll be adding to the truck, and the clamp for each of the corners, as well as a body clip pry tool, just like the previous version. Starting here on the rear, we need to actually get underneath and behind the rear wheel. We're going to have to remove this T25 bolt. And once we put the mud flap in place, go ahead and put one clip to hold it all in place. Do yourself a favor. Raise the truck to extract mode right now. I unfortunately could not get the message that I needed to be all the way up, just to make it a lot more comfortable. So I raised it one step at a time until finally extract mode. Just put your truck in extract mode. You'll have a lot easier time of reaching the bolts here underneath the truck. Do that, then you're going to reinstall that T25. Add the remaining clips and the clamp at the top. The rear is done. Moving on to the front, it's pretty similar. However, there's two new bolts we're going to add to the truck. And looking underneath the truck, there's these two holes here, and these are lined up nicely with these new mud flaps. And this is where you're going to add these two bolts. I recommend threading these in before you install the mud flaps. Makes this quite a bit easier once you're trying to get these bolts to catch while the mud flap is in place. So do that, and then install this mud flap with a clip on top, holding it in place. Put these two bolts in, and then of course add the other three body clips around and the clamp on top. So as you can see, this is very much in line with the design of the Cybertruck. Looks like it belongs on there. These being a little bit shorter give you better clearance on the rear, which is the ones that I broke off and just absolutely destroyed them. The front two stayed on, no issues, but I think that this is going to work out quite a bit better. These are really good mud flaps. They're very reasonably priced. They're about $45 with a coupon, and that's for all four of these. So really good deal, especially compared to, of course, Tesla prices. Next, we have trays that go into the doors. I have had my eye on these for a while for our Model Y. We now have it here for the Cybertruck. What's nice about these is not only do they fit perfect, of course, but they actually add another kind of cavity. So it makes it into 3 sections. So now we have better organization, but also it'll help with spills with the kids in the back. All the stuff that they put in there helps keep it from spilling and then going into and behind the panels in the truck on the door. So these are a no-brainer. They're not that expensive, super easy to install, definitely worth it. And then the next one is probably high on your list, actually. So it's been pretty common in pickup trucks for quite a while that underneath those rear seats is kind of a storage bay. And the Cybertruck, it's just an open space, but they did develop an offer for sale in underseat storage. It's like $250. It's not cheap. The one that comes from Tesla is very nice. It is a flexible, rubbery-ish kind of material, but it does have some drawbacks. First and foremost, you can't divide that up. So it's one big open cavity. Now, the way that it's molded, it helps keep things kind of in place, but this one is made out of traditional plastic, so it's not flexible. It's firm in place. So that works out well in some cases. But the big benefit here is it has these removable kind of doors or walls that go in and split this thing into thirds. It also has a removable tray that fills in 1/3 of it, so you can quickly grab whatever it is that you store in that particular tray and remove it and get out of the vehicle rather than having to have those seats up the whole time. And that just adds to convenience. Now, it does come with this net, this envelope style holding net that you can put between these two foams, but it is really tight. I don't recommend it. Didn't seem like that was going to hold up very well, but the way that this foam is designed is to allow you to cut into it and shape it. So if there's other things you can think of that you would like to store underneath the seat, you could actually form these molds in a style or a size that's going to hold what you're trying to put back there nicely in place. This is a no-brainer, having storage under the seat, and this comes in about 20% cheaper than Tesla's version. So this is one to seriously consider. It's a good idea. And having this particular style where it still mounts the same way, it still fits the same way, you can see it's a really nice fit underneath the seats. Just adds quite a bit more functionality to that same concept with the Tesla version. So like I said, BestEVMod offers a number of accessories, not just for Teslas, but of course, a number of other non-Teslas. And their products are cost effective and they fit really well. Everything that I've had from them fits really nicely. And that's something that's really important when you start to get into a more cost-effective approach, something that's more affordable. Sometimes they don't quite fit as well, but I've never had any issues with BestEVMod. So they're definitely going to be one of the staple companies to consider if you're going the more cost-effective route than what Tesla is offering. You can get all of this yourself. There's a link in the description to these accessories, but also a couple other accessories from BestEVMod that I like, and you should probably check out as well. Certainly the safe in the center console is one of my favorite accessories, actually, of all the accessories that I have in this truck, and that is, of course, from BestEVMod. So links in the description for your convenience should you want to take a look at some of these yourself. I thank you so much for joining us today, and I can't wait to catch you on the next one.